Beginning Monday, September 16th, it's the new lineup of ZNS News and Current Affairs, 6 p.m. It's What's Trending, Lifestyles in the Afternoon with Stacey Campbell Marshall, 6:30. We head to the north for the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, 7 p.m. It's the Bahamas Tonight National Report, followed by the Bahamas Tonight Access, now at 7:30. Then at 8 p.m., your nightly news analysis show, The Rundown, with Clint Watson. And 11 p.m., the Bahamas Tonight at 11 with Royston Jones. It's a full lineup of the new ZNS, and it starts Monday, September 16th. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Makush Lapinder. This is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. The Prime Minister officially opens Diplomatic Week 2024 in Grand Bahama with 100 diplomats in attendance. And U.S. residents are closely watching the Harris versus Trump election unfold. And later, the Progressive Liberal Party chairman says the party is gearing up to end the political shuffle and deliver strong, steady leadership.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition start now.
To our diplomatic corps, I say this. Your work is not only to bridge our borders, but to defend the dignity and future of our nation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Regional and international members of the Bahamas Diplomatic Corps convening this morning at the Grand Ilocos Resort for the official opening of an event which highlights Diplomatic Week on Grand Bahama. Our Joan Davis Roll has tonight's top story.
On Grand Bahama this week, not only because it's the site of a major diplomatic conference, but it's also the site of a challenge being issued by the nation's chief executive. The official opening ceremony for the Foreign Ministry of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas Diplomatic Week was not only punctuated with the finest in Bahamian culture on full display by Grand Bahama's youth, but also an auspicious occasion which beamed with Bahamian pride. The event, being hosted for the third time on Grand Bahama, is said to be indicative of a Davis-led administration's goal to shift the world's focus and actions to sustainable practices that will secure the future of all countries.
In the struggle for climate justice, the Bahamas stands as a voice for the vulnerable, a champion of those who, like us, seek only to secure the lives and futures of our people. We fight for a world where those responsible for this crisis answer for the loss and damages felt by those who contributed least to its cause. Thus, we turn to the law, seeking justice from the very court that stand as guardian of humanity's conscience. The International Court of Justice is now poised to deliver an advisory opinion on climate change.
It is a message the nation's chief executive has taken far and near. Grand Bahama, he says, having experienced the wrath of a deadly storm, knows firsthand the adverse impact of climate change that often leads to natural and human degradation.
For too long, our islands and countless others have borne the burden of loss and damage inflicted by climate change. Land eroded, homes destroyed, livelihoods swept away in storms more violent, more frequent than any of our ancestors could have imagined. The loss is not only material, but spiritual, a threat to our culture, our heritage, and our identity as a people of the sea.
The Prime Minister declared that the time is now to move from talk to action.
As ambassadors, you are called not only to advocate, but to educate, to speak plainly of the impacts we face, and to rally the world around action. Our diplomats stand not merely as representatives of the Bahamas, but as advocates of all who stand to lose everything from inaction. To our diplomatic corps, I say this. Your work is not only to bridge our borders, but to defend the dignity and future of our nation.
The Prime Minister stated that is not only crucial for members of the diplomatic corps to be heard concerning global matters, but that the Bahamas be given a seat at the global table. At the Grand Lucerne Resort at the opening of Diplomatic Week, I'm Joe Davis-Roll.
Well, after a successful day, the diplomats are being hosted to a welcome cocktail reception at the Grand Lucerne Resort. That is where you will find our Devontae Hannah standing by live. Devontae?
Well, Raven, we're still inside the Grand Ballroom here at the Grand Lucerne Resort, where delegates will begin to trickle in for the start of the welcome reception that will be hosted by the Prime Minister himself, the Honorable Philip Davis, for Diplomatic Week. Obviously, that opening ceremony happening earlier today, and now it's a bit of a celebration. We know that these delegates have been working very hard since yesterday. That was Monday, where they had those closed sessions. Today, they spoke about climate diplomacy. There was some panel discussions. Tomorrow will be the same thing, but the focus will be on cultural diplomacy, and we expect to hear from the Minister of Education and Technical and Vocational, the Honorable Glenys Martin, and she will be a part of a panel discussion that talks about partnerships in science and technology. A pretty interesting panel discussion to happen tomorrow as well is about the African diaspora, and then later in the evening, these delegates will discuss the Bahamas as well as the European Union. That will be a closed session, unfortunately, but these delegates certainly, even though they're having some fun and will have some fun tonight, they're certainly putting in that work to discuss the Bahamas and things that push our relationships and our diplomatic ties forward as we traverse through this world. Again, the theme for this Diplomatic Week is climate, trade, and of course, cultural diplomacy, and all of that is what will happen here for the remainder of the week. And this Diplomatic Week will end on Wednesday, October 8th. And again, in just a few more minutes, it's going to be hundreds of people here with drinks and food and a live band. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, of course, we can't bring you all of that. But for right now, I'm going to send it back to you in studio, Raven.
Thank you for that, Devontae. Meantime, as time draws near for the 2024 U.S. presidential election, residents and U.S. citizens may say no words on who should be the next president of the United States. Now, some believe that America will have an economic boost if former President Donald Trump takes the White House, while others say that Kamala Harris has America's best interest at heart. Our Shalia Roll has residents' take on the U.S. elections.
All eyes are on the 2024 U.S. elections. But the question is, who will be the next president of the United States? Will it be Vice President Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump? Residents and U.S. citizens chiming in on who they believe should be the next president.
I support Trump all the way through.
I think Donald Trump should win the election.
I think that Kamala should win. I hope
that Harris takes us to that path.
I think Kamala is going to win.
Donald Trump is the best. We want him to win.
And if I get canceled, I get canceled. Donald Trump.
Optimistic, with Kamala.
The president could win. That's a woman.
America ain't ready for no woman president, not yet.
It has been a long election season in the United States as Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump went toe-to-toe for months in their election campaign. But the time is drawing near for the announcement to be made. Now, U.S. citizens are making their stance clear on why Vice President Kamala Harris should be the next president.
she does. I think it'll just do a lot for women's rights, and I'm really big on that.
In America, we want people to all support people, and so we feel like Harris is that option.
I think she brings a better new perspective as it relates to, hey, Biden had his administration, she was vice president, but she was not the head.
While some people believe that America will thrive economically if former President Donald Trump becomes president.
Just some of his economic policies and a lot of what's going on with the other nations. I don't think Kamala is equipped to really handle it. But
somebody to come in and balance our budget, then gets the spending under control, and to bring this nation out of decline.
Affect my pocket so I can come and donate to other countries and go on vacation.
Well, how does the U.S. presidential election affect the Bahamas? This resident explains why.
I think it'd be a ripple effect, because if the U.S. economy goes down, then you will have less visitors over here. Different businesses may struggle more to where they can't do more offshore projects. But
now the results of the U.S. presidential election will be announced later tonight. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I am Shalia Roll.
Thanks, Shalia. Meantime, officials from the U.S. Embassy hosting a watch party tonight for the 2024 U.S. election at the Prop Club. Our Jolanda Thompson-Everest joins us live from there. Jolanda, what can you tell us?
That's right, Raven. Millions casting their vote in what is considered one of the most important elections in U.S. modern-day history. Tonight, I'm at the Prop Club, where the U.S. Embassy officials is hosting a live watch club, rather. Here I have with me the Public Affairs Officer from the U.S. Embassy, Sumaya Abdullah. Tell me, Sumaya, what do you think is the most important issues Americans have on their minds during this election?
Thank you for having me tonight. We're really excited about this watch party. I think Americans have gone through a number of issues, and that's what we love to see in democracy. We really support some spirited debates. I think it's really important for our people to get into civic engagement and really look at all the issues that are important to them and what really impacts their communities.
Awesome. Tell me, why was it important for you guys to come together and have this watch live party?
Because democracy is so important, and of course we want to celebrate it with Bahamians, since you also have a thriving democracy, and we really both have the same shared value on how important it is to vote and exercise that right to vote and really make your voices heard.
Last question, Sumaya. Why, of course, well, tell me, what do you hope this new administration will accomplish moving forward?
Well, as someone who works for the U.S. Embassy, we continue to follow our president. I'd like to make note that President Biden will still be in power until January 20th, so he will continue with his priorities of creating security and economic prosperity and really strengthening those bonds with our allies across the globe. And we will continue, regardless of what happens here tonight, we will continue to strengthen our relationship with the Bahamas.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sumaya.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm looking forward to what's happening tonight, and there you have it. We will have a full report of tonight's event in tomorrow's newscast. Live from the Prop Club for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson-Everest. Back to you, Raven.
Thanks, Jolanda. In other news, as the United States awaits its election results, the Progressive Liberal Party is now in campaign mode. This according to party chairman, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, who says the Davis administration is assessing the performance of elected officials as they look to end what Mitchell calls a volley of political parties in government. Within the last 3 months, the Free National Movement announced its candidate registration process, while the Coalition of Independents unveiled its first slate of 29 candidates. Mitchell says work is underway to get the Davis administration with some new and old faces.
There's been an assessment constituency by constituency of people and their performances as members of Parliament. Those are objective assessments that will start working toward candidates in the next election. There's going to be a module for people who are interested in running for office coming up in January. All members of Parliament have to go through that module again to qualify for the nomination. So we're at that point where we're preparing for the general election.
Well, on to some sad news. A woman from the Hunters community in Grand Bahama has tragically lost her life in a brutal killing in Turks and Caicos. Aisha Williams was found dead in a residence on Monday night, leaving her family, friends, and the entire community grappling for answers. Those who knew her now struggling to understand how such a senseless act could claim the life of someone who was not only a businesswoman, but a kind and loving person. Here's that report.
I saw a picture. They said Aisha was just killed, and I was like, what? So panic, scared.
Rochelle Higgs says she was deeply shaken upon hearing the news of the brutal murder of Aisha Williams, a well-known Grand Bahamian in Turks and Caicos, on Monday night.
I was back and forth between her sister-in-laws and my sister to try to find out what happened, because I said to my sister, I said, come and get me. And she said, I can't come and get you, she said, because I don't even know if I could drive. And so I called whoever I could call. And so a friend of mine, she lives down the street from me. She said, I'm on my way there now. And so when I called, I said, was she on the streets? Where is she? And they said, she's in her house. So I was like, what, in her house?
The Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force releasing limited details confirming the incident took place in the Blue Hills area. Rochelle says the situation is especially heartbreaking as Aisha's husband, also a Grand Bahamian, was executed just last year, leaving her to mourn his loss with no conviction in that case.
And at least he didn't die to the scene. They were together when both of them were shot, but she only got a graze, and he succumbed to his injuries. He was airlifted and he died like hours later, right after his anniversary, just a few months later. Now she's gone. And I'm trying to fathom like what could have caused someone to come into your home and take your life, you know? Turks and Caicos is a very, very beautiful place, somewhat quiet. And I always just encourage people, if you go to a place to better your life, don't get entangled, you know.
But she says Aisha could not remain out of the public eye. After her husband's death, she ran the family business and had been planning to expand operations into the Dominican Republic.
They have like a little eatery with drinks and on the beach. Nice little setup, selling burgers and conch and fish. And they sell like tropical drinks. Very, very well known to the tourist industry and also the local economy here in Turks and Caicos.
With family and friends left to mourn this loss, she says Williams will be fondly remembered as a kind and loving person.
Love to laugh, fun, loving, caring person. She was also a contributor to my feeding ministry in Grand Baha Mar. Sometimes she would call me, she'd say, hey, check your phone. I just sent something to help with the feeding ministry. She loved her family unconditionally.
Now, this friend of the victim is appealing for anyone with information into this case or into the death of Aisha's husband, Javano Williams, to come forward.
And still to come.
U.S. Embassy officials held a town hall meeting in Grand Bahama to guide residents on the student visa process. That story and sports highlights when we return.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good conch salad, junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Third Dimension on Yellow Pine Street invites you to their grand reopening Friday, November 8th at 12 noon. It's a new, larger, and improved hardware store, including tiles, lumber, building materials, and more. Third Dimension. Hummus. It's a grand celebration honoring Apostle Leon Wallace. Friday, November 22nd at Grand Lucayan Resort, Grand Bahama, 6:30 p.m. Admission is free. Love gifts welcome. See you there.
Experience an unforgettable evening at Moonlight on the Bay, a cocktail party under the stars on November 9th at 8 p.m. at Hawksbill Yacht Club. Enjoy live entertainment by DMAC and the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band. Tickets are $100 with part proceeds supporting the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group. It's happy hour at Prop Club Beach in the Grand Lucayan. Join them every Friday and Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. for great food and drinks. Open Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and until midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. Don't miss out. Don't miss the Gathering 2 Fire on the Altar Fresh Wind. Join Walking into Destiny Ministries at Pelican Bay on Saturday, November 9th at 7 p.m. Experience a powerful night of 4 dynamic speakers. For more information, call 458-2573.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. Private investigator Oswald Poitier is someone who is widely known for his investigative skills and a private eye equipped with the latest advanced technology. Poitier is an entrepreneur and has been in the investigative business for several years. Well, tonight he is weighing in on the latest incident regarding a security officer filming women while in a female bathroom at a local insurance company on Grand Bahama without their consent. While the perpetrator has been charged with voyeurism, Poitier, who is also a former police officer, is asking women to stay alert and be vigilant everywhere they go. A shocking incident has left many women traumatized and facing the challenge of rebuilding trust at a local insurance company. A former security officer stationed at that insurance company was arrested for filming women in a female bathroom stall for months. Dwight Hunter facing voyeurism charges, but private investigator Oswald Poitier notes that the issue goes beyond the single case. Poitier stresses the importance of staying up to date with the latest technological advancements for protection, but adds that the key to safety lies in developing a short sense of awareness, never taking things for granted, and always trusting your instincts.
I would tell anyone, if you go into a place, there are certain things that would stand out to me.
Poitier disappointed in the security officer's breach of privacy, adding that while he puts the blame on Hunter, he shares some gadgets on how women can be more vigilant.
Even you have some light bulbs, you pay attention to the light bulbs, maybe a camera. If you go in the female restroom, you see a person may say, okay, well, I put a club, you go in a club, and they have the wall connect for the charge your phone. Inside that, if you see a little hole in it, that's more than likely a camera.
The private investigator continues with more items to be out on the lookout for, that including wall adapters, even pinhole cameras hidden in the hole of a roof, and this.
This is a smoke detector. This is one of the most common things that persons use, because inside the bathroom, people would not expect that a camera would be in the bathroom, but people would say, okay, well, a smoke detector isn't something that people would normally be afraid of, because they say, okay, well, smoke detectors are normally in business places, you know, for in the event there's a fire. But if you see one of these above your, the cubicle you go in, go another one.
Although Hunter was charged and sentenced, Poitier says that pictures and videos may not have fully deleted from the recordings.
Somewhere in the cloud, may have gone on certain flash drives. You may have gone on a computer. You may have sent it to another phone.
Poitier noting that while Dwight Hunter may be sentenced for only a year, those victims that he violated will be affected forever, adding that security officers are established for the protection and firms ought to do proper vetting to avoid acts like this from happening again. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest. And that's a look at stories making news. Shane, what's happening in sports?
Well, the GB Amateur Softball Championships heated up. Did you go out there on the weekend?
I did not.
Well, we've got the updates on that when we get back.
Thanks, Shane. Well, sports comes your way next, but first, here's a check on your local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Portobello's at the Grand Lacayan invites everyone to a Thanksgiving celebration. Enjoy Sunday brunch on November 24th or Thankful Thursday on November 28th with a buffet and live entertainment. For more details and reservations, call 373-1333. It's Football Sundays at Prop Club Beach in the Grand Lacayan. Catch all the action from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. with happy hour deals all day. Great food, cold drinks, and your favorite teams. Call 373-1333 for more info. Experience an unforgettable evening at Moonlight on the Bay, a cocktail party under the stars on November 9th at 8 p.m. at Hawksbill Yacht Club. Enjoy live entertainment by Diplomat and the Royal Bahamas Police Force Pop Band. Tickets are $100 with part proceeds supporting the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group. Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Take this opportunity to invite you to be with us right here at Calvary Temple of Miracle Deliverance, certainly with guest speaker prophet Kendrick Timbo out of Kentucky and evangelist Tommy Combs out of Alabama. For the next 2 days, the 9th and the 10th, Saturday 7 p.m., Miracle Deliverance service begins. Sunday morning 10 a.m., Miracle Deliverance service continue. And then on Sunday evening at 7 p.m., the Miracle Deliverance service, the final night.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Shane Stubbs, and welcome to Sports. Well, do you remember when WNBA Finals MVP Jonquil Jones said there would definitely be a celebration in the Bahamas after the New York Liberty won the title? Well, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture had this announcement. Here's the Honorable Mario Boleg.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture will be hosting a motorcade in Grand Bahama on the 16th of November, where we will also have clinics and workshops to be held, and I'm inviting all young ladies who are interested in the game of basketball to come out on the 16th at Grand Bahama after the motorcade, where there'll be workshop and clinics with Jonquil Jones and her teammates. Whether you from the east in Grand Bahama to the west in Grand Bahama, to come out and support on the 16th and show your support to Jonquil Jones during the motorcade. And we want to see him done here on the 18th in New Providence and show our appreciation for her hard work and dedication and commitment to representing her country.
Next in sports, the IL Cares Foundation Senior Boys Tip-Off Basketball Classic tipping off earlier today at the St. George's Gymnasium. In Game 1, the Amar Rock Blue Jays took on the defending champion Sunland Stingers. That contest was followed by the Study Hall Knights taking on the Tabernacle Falcons. And the BMES Warriors went head-to-head with the St. George's Jaguars in the feature game of the afternoon. We'll have updates in a later newscast. And lastly in sports, scores from the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Championship Series. In the men's division, the CLA Hitters took a 1-0 series lead after defeating the Pats Uniform Reds 21-6. In the women's division, Pats Ladies have taken a 2-1 series lead over the Amsbach Lady Oilers. Pats Ladies outlasted the Lady Oilers 14-9 in Game 3 over the weekend. And the Police Force Royals captured the corporate title after sweeping the GB Health Services Shockwavers, taking Game 3 by a final score of 11-9. And that's your check on sports, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shane Stubbs. Your Facebook friend of the day is up next.
Champagne and the Rhythm presents 102.7 The Rhythm turns 3, and it's a big performance with Taurus Riley live. Taurus Riley live. Oh yeah, the hitmaker, the reggae icon, Taurus Riley live. Saturday, December 14th at the Grand Lucayan Ballroom. Doors open at 8 p.m., showtime at 11 p.m. For 102.7 The Rhythm. Big birthday party with Taurus Riley. Live. Get tickets online now. TheRhythm3.com. And it's a big performance. Taurus Riley. Brought to you by Jade Champagne and The Rhythm. Saturday, December 14th, 102.7 The Rhythm. Turns 3 with Taurus Riley. Live.
Have the following supplies on hand at the start of the hurricane season. A minimum 3-day supply of water, which provides 1 gallon of water per person per day. Minimum 3-day supply of non-perishable food items. Flashlights and extra batteries. A battery-powered radio to receive broadcasts that will keep you informed of the storm. A first aid kit. A 7-day supply of any prescribed medication. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Your number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that's going to do it for us here in the north. I'm Raven Davis. Thank you so much for tuning in. The Bahamas Tonight is coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the power and purpose of diplomacy. Diplomats today reminded of the crucial need to be a voice on the challenges faced and to rally the world to action. Local economists to keep a keen eye on America's performance and consumer confidence once the dust settles on today's high-stakes election in the United States. And a tit-for-tat over in the courts in the trial of embattled F&M MP Adrien Gibson and his co-accused. Find out what prosecution and defense attorneys are contending. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. The Prime Minister taking a trip to Grand Bahama today, where he delivered the opening address to the 10th Annual Diplomatic Week. It's a meeting of the minds of sorts among the diplomatic corps, who were reminded of the crucial role they play in fostering relationships, securing investments, and building a bridge to a more resilient Bahamas. Joan Davis-Roll leads us off tonight.
The event, being hosted for the third time on Grand Bahama, is said to be indicative of a Davis-led administration's goal to shift the world's focus and actions to sustainable practices that will secure the future of all countries.
In the struggle for climate justice, the Bahamas stands as a voice for the vulnerable, a champion of those who, like us, seek only to secure the lives and futures of our people. We fight for a world where those responsible for this crisis answer for the loss and damages felt by those who contributed least to its cause. Thus, we turn to the law, seeking justice from the very court that stand as guardian of humanity's conscience. The International Court of Justice is now poised to deliver an advisory opinion on climate change, a ruling that we believe will echo across borders and demand accountability.
It is a message the nation's chief executive has taken far and near. The Prime Minister declared that the time is now to move from talk to action.
In every hall of power, every forum, we carry the voices of our people and the stories of our shores. Diplomacy is our shield and our voice, a way to remind the world that we may be small, but our challenges are universal. As ambassadors, you are called not only to advocate, but to educate, to speak plainly of the impacts we face, and to rally the world around action. Our diplomats stand not merely as representatives of the Bahamas, but as advocates of all who stand to lose everything from inaction. To our diplomatic corps, I say this: your work is not only to bridge our borders, but to defend the dignity and future of our nation.
At the Grand Bahama Resort at the opening of Diplomatic Week, I'm Joan Davis-Roll.
In other news this evening, based on current developments, there's a lesser chance of the Bahamas falling into a recession. And it's pretty safe to presume that local economists are hoping that remains the case. That, of course, is heavily dependent on if there are any surprise negative global shocks, as Central Bank Governor John Roll explained during Monday's press briefing.
We always think about the areas of stress where the tensions around the upheaval related to wars and the like, there's always a concern as to how those, develop and how they could impact, global supply chains, and also whether politically, they could lead to major shifts. But there's always, in the best of economic times, the set of factors that you have to keep in mind that can go in the opposite direction and that can lead to a bad experience. So I think that's what's important, even when we look at the heightened geopolitical tensions that are out there.
Little wonder then why a lot's riding on the U.S. elections. For weeks, it's been a neck-to-neck race to the finish line for U.S. President hopefuls Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. The uncertainty of who will emerge winner closely watched, particularly as it relates to the behavior of U.S. consumers once the dust has settled.
Anticipated, irrespective of the outcome, that those consumers will be in a less uncertain state after the elections. And so given the sort of, down the middle split in terms of the electoral sentiments in the United States, it means that, there is still a significant portion of the U.S. consumer base where getting beyond the election is expected to shift, the way they start to position themselves, expenditure and otherwise. So I would say that for us, what matters beyond the election is the overall performance in the United States economy in terms of the economic outlook and consumer confidence.
Meantime, well-known American political commentator, nationally syndicated columnist, and talk show host Armstrong Williams has been reporting on the American political climate for decades. Today, he spoke with Felicity Darville, giving his take on the U.S. presidential elections.
With his ear to the ground on U.S. Election Day today, media mogul Armstrong Williams took a moment to speak with ZNS News, making a prediction on these hotly contested elections.
Who will win the White House? Donald Trump. Donald Trump will win because Donald Trump has what is necessary in terms of the message on the issues that Americans care about most.
Vice President Kamala Harris, he said, has done a phenomenal job in the face of little time to build a campaign. However, he does not believe that she will overwhelmingly receive the black vote.
Overwhelmingly, the vice president is losing the vote of black men, and not because they're black. Everything is made so much about race and gender in this country. Many Americans who happen to be black, who are men, see themselves in the entrepreneurial mindset. Their businesses, they have real estate. Early on, the vice president floated out that she would tax unrealized capital gains taxes that scared the bejesus out of people.
Mr. Williams added that her policies with regard to the gay agenda do not sit well with black men. Donald Trump, however, has to rein in his erratic behavior if he becomes president.
He's very vindictive. He can be very petty. Sometimes he acts as though he's above the law. He has said he will go after his enemies. If this is the Donald Trump that returns to power, it would be not only disastrous for America, but for the world.
Williams said that morality will become more important than a robust economy, and that's where Donald Trump will need to improve for the sake of countries like the Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Felicity Darville.
Well, in new developments, China Construction America, CCA, the owner of the luxury Baha Mar resort property, has been successful in having its ruling stayed against a judgment to pay out $1.6 billion to Sarkis Ismailian's BML Properties Limited. That ruling handed down just yesterday. Now, you may recall that mega-dollar judgment came last month after New York Judge Borak ruled that CCA committed fraudulent acts, causing BML to lose its Baha Mar investment. The court found China Construction's actions to cause a liquidity crisis, pushing BML Properties Limited out of its $845 million investment, which ultimately led to Baha Mar filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy in June of 2015. The stay order for CCA in the interim prevents against possible insolvency or bankruptcy and hundreds of employees losing their jobs. Over in the court back here in the Capitol, prosecutors accuse the defense of wasting time. Defense attorneys accuse witness Water and Sewers General Manager Robert Deal of lying. This coming out in the trial of Long Island MP Adrien Gibson and his co-accused. Gibson's attorneys grilling Mr. Deal, who told the court he did not have direct knowledge concerning the in-depth details of certain financial reports, but that under his watch, the corporation is in compliance of the 2021 Public Financial Management Act. Justice Grant Thompson ruling today that the act, along with WSC's budget and the water supply rules, would be admitted as relevant for the trial. Director of Public Prosecutions Cordell Frazier leads the prosecution in the trial of Gibson and his co-accused Elwood Donaldson Jr., Peaches Parkinson, Jerome Missick, Rashay Gibson, and Joanne Knowles. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to be caught up in the rush. But when you're behind the wheel, remember, rushing can lead to disaster. Don't rush. Take your time. Remember, your life and others depends on it. Slow down. Stay alert and arrive alive. Because in the race of life, it's not about how fast you get there, but how safely.
This message is brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
KFC is giving you more to love with our KFC Bucket Meals with large size. Get the KFC Family Bucket featuring 8 pieces of juicy chicken, family fries, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4. A KFC Deluxe Bucket with 10 pieces of delicious chicken, 2 larger sides, and 4 biscuits that feeds 4 to 6. Or a KFC Party Bucket with 15 pieces of our chicken, 3 larger sides, and 6 biscuits that feeds 6. And we'll handle the dishes, plates, and utensils included, so you can lick your fingers and reach. KFC knows value, and it's finger licking good.
Whether you're crossing borders or navigating busy airports, with BTC's reliable data roaming, you're always in touch. In a fast-paced world, staying connected is key. Don't miss important moments. Stay connected effortlessly with BTC, wherever your journey takes you.
Holiday season, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is bringing light back to Bahamian homes. Through our partnership with Bahamas Power and Light, we're offering the Merry and Bright Holiday Reconnection Program, so you can pay as little as 10% of your outstanding balance and get reconnected. Just in time for the holidays. Pay a little, light up a lot. The Ministry of Energy and Transport is committed to making sure no family is left in the dark this season.
Of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
You're looking at a shot of waters just off New Providence, east of the Porter-Ski Dock. Welcome back. T-Wash Shanty Town residents initially apprehensive to comply with a 28-day eviction notice issued this past August, but officials confirming that the majority of them have since moved out the area. This allowed demolition teams to destroy half of the 113 structures of Cowpen Road just this morning. Officials estimating that the exercise should take about 2 days to complete, with no suspicious items found on this Crown land. Head of the Unregulated Communities Task Force, Superintendent Sylvan Carey, says this is the last Shantytown demolition for the year.
When we came this morning, all persons have already evacuated the area. They were just standing around. They had nothing to get. They just left. Area was quiet. These properties were meant for agriculture, and they were not meant for home. So therefore, when we go to issue our notices, it's all about making the persons in the community understand that these are agriculture land that they're building on, and that is the reason why the land is being repurposed back to agriculture.
Social Services Minister the Honourable Miles LaRota on the defensive tonight. This in the face of reports that several individuals were evicted from Ponciana Inn after overstaying their time. Minister LaRota sharing that some of the residents have been granted permission to stay in the home for up to a year when the contract clearly states they will only allow 3 months of residency. Though unfortunate, he says a tough decision had to be made to help others in need.
I am confident in saying that the Bahamas government has already provided assistance. And what needs to be said is this. Those hardworking people at social services don't have the ability to put the facts out. If the facts were put in the public domain, I'm sure that the majority of goodwill Bahamians, Bahamians who understand would say, I could see how the government get to that position. When you get to individuals who've been in our care for 6 years or for a year, and 6 months, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, decisions have to be made. You look at what we are presented with, the individuals, and you make that determination. And sometimes we have to say we can no longer carry this burden.
Minister LaRota also reiterating that homes like Ponciana Inn are temporary housing, and individuals who fail to leave can cause a bottleneck for others in need.
There are dozens of Bahamians still at PMH, no longer in need of treatment where they are trying to place. In order for those individuals who were there, somebody had to leave. In all of the instances I'm aware that extensions were granted, multiple extensions were granted. Can you quantify how many extensions were granted? I can't say right now, but if somebody has been in a shelter for 2 years or for a year, and initially the contract that was signed was for 2 weeks, you do the math. There have been some other extensions that have been granted for like 3 months.
Investigations continue tonight into last night's murder in the Bain Town community. Corval Pyfrom revisited the scene today, where some are still trying to piece together exactly what went wrong.
The morning after it happened in Spence Duncombe, whose home along Augusta Street in Bain Town was the setting for last night's argument that turned deadly, still can't quite comprehend it all.
I don't know what going on between them. I don't know.
What we do know is that the two men were sitting around in Duncombe's yard like they normally do when they got into an altercation late Monday night.
They're mature fellas, man. They're old fellas. Mature fellas. Two of them were the same age. You know, I said, man, stop that. What you all doing?
It must be upsetting to you that, you know, your premise...
Man, that hurt my heart. Because when I say, when he gone, I said, check John, man. The boy said, yeah. I said, well, call ambulance for him so he could go to the hospital.
Tonight, the hunt for the other man continues. Police on the scene last night providing few details.
As a result of this argument, the argument became a physical altercation where an instrument or an object was introduced into this altercation, resulting in one of the males hitting the other in the area of the head. As a result, EMS was contacted, and upon arrival and examining the body, no signs of life was indicated.
But Duncombe believes that more could have been done to save his friend, who he identifies to us as John Ward.
The fellow feel the pulse a couple times and feel the chest. I said, see, he breathed. He said, yes. But ambulance never came.
This latest incident comes just hours after a 25-year-old female employee of Baha Mar was stabbed while at work by a man known to her. That 34-year-old man has since been taken into custody, and a week ago, two brothers-in-law both died after they got into a physical altercation. These incidents prompting police to urge members of the public to seek help in resolving conflicts. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
And speaking of that woman stabbed yesterday at Baha Mar, we can tell you her condition appears to be improving. She's now been upgraded to stable condition. As we've reported, a 34-year-old man has been taken into custody in connection with the incident. Baha Mar Resort Senior VP Robert Sands yesterday confirming that the 25-year-old woman is an associate at the Cable Beach property and expressed the resort's concerns and sympathies for the alleged victim and her family. Sands also noting that while the incident did not occur in the guest area of the hotel, the safety of the resort's associates and guests is always a priority. The matter, he says, is under active police investigations.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
It's good to be alive this holiday season. Alive is partnering with Western Air to bring 4 lucky Bahamian students home for the holidays for free. If you're a student studying in Florida, all you have to do is share a creative video showing us why it's good to be home for the holidays with the hashtags
It's good to be home and it's good to be alive.
And don't forget to check out our live social media pages and bealive.com to see if you're eligible.
It's good to be alive when things free.
And it's even better to be home for the holidays.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Creative entrepreneurs in the spotlight tonight, and they've also got some cash heading their way. Corvell Pyfrom tells us why in tonight's Business Beat.
The Small Business Center gearing up for a big evening tonight at the Nassau Cruise Port.
Tonight is a celebration of creative entrepreneurs from across the Bahamas. First, they participated in our Crafting the Bahamas workshops, teaching them how to make authentically Bahamian products at world-class standards.
Access Accelerator's Deputy Director Felice Bethel says the Small Business Center will tonight name the nearly 40 entrepreneurs set to receive more than $100,000 in grant funding.
Tonight, we are awarding $160,000 plus to 39 entrepreneurs.
It is all a part of the Creative Entrepreneur Initiative and the program's grand finale for the year. Bethel says she's proud of the hard work she's seen from the applicants, but more importantly, the overall interest the initiative has sparked.
We're also celebrating the 39 grant applicants who were approved for funding up to $5,000. This includes entrepreneurs who are both aspiring and existing business owners.
That event is taking place tonight at the cruise port in downtown Nassau. On the business beat, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Well, LaDonna Marcellus joins us live to give us a sneak peek of Access Now. What I can tell you heading into it is LaDonna's on edge and Marcellus is cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, I'm just like, whatever happens at this point.
I'm having anxiety attacks right now. I know you guys are waiting, and we're all awaiting in terms of the U.S. elections, right, Marcellus? Who are you supporting? I'm even scared to even ask.
I'm not supporting anyone because I'm like, I can't vote. I'm just going to have to see who
do you support? Who do you support? No?
I don't know.
Well, because we have a few more hours until we find out, right?
Marcellus says matters make no difference. Stay with us. Our feature story is up next.
People are going crazy for Popeyes around the world. Some have camped out for hours just to try our delicious chicken. This guy stocked up on 300 crunchy, juicy chicken sandwiches, just in case. And these lovebirds celebrated their wedding with the Popeyes cake. For real. We get it, y'all chicken lovers. Because we're just as crazy to marinate our chicken for 12 hours and make every piece by hand. That crazy love, we love.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Legacy of Leadership. Join the International Third World Leadership Association for Legacy Weekend, November 8th to the 9th. November 8th, Legacy Leadership Lecture, honoring global leader. November 9th, Legacy Walk to Remember. Join us for the Legacy Reunion Concert.
Hey guys, it's Yolanda Adams. It's about to be a celebration, November 8th through the 10th at the Miles E. Monroe Diplomat Center. I can't wait to see you. Come on.
Visit itwla.com for details. Don't miss Legacy Weekend.
You really think you could catch more fish than me?
You know what my uncle is like? My uncle used to catch 30 fish in 30 minutes.
My granddaddy used to catch 30 shark in an hour, and he was in the dinghy boat. Talk that.
Well, my uncle used to catch 70 lobsters barefoot.
You know Jonah from the Bible?
Yeah.
My great-great-great-granddaddy went fishing with him to catch a sea whale would swallow him. Talk that. That's how I know I getting a piece of this $50,000 that the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources giving away at this award show.
You mean the Anchor Awards, right?
Yep. And you know what? The Anchor Awards is honor all of the legends of the sea from all over the Bahamas. November 16th at 7 p.m. and it all goes down at Baha Mar Convention Center. And tickets is only $50 so.
Well, that's on you, because I got something.
Give me my slippers, please. I ain't gonna win none of this money.
Is the Little Caesars Stuffed Crust Pizza. Get more pizza for less money. Only $12. It's a whole new level of pizza with cheese stuffed crust so spectacular that there's nothing left.
Pizza.
A delicious pepperoni pizza with the crust stuffed with lots of cheese and brushed with butter and garlic flavor and sprinkled with Parmesan cheese. Hot and ready Thursday to Saturday between 4 and 8 for only $12. Simply irresistible. And only at Little Caesars.
The Bahamas Striping Group of Companies Let's Make a Difference initiative gearing up for its largest meal distribution. Our West Calix Forbes tells us more.
No one should go hungry during the holiday season, which is why Bahamas Striping Group of Companies decided to feed 25,000 individuals throughout the Bahamas this year. The initiative focuses on not only New Providence, but now extends to 13 family islands for this year's Thanksgiving lunch distribution.
We are even more excited this year that we have more family islands on board. We were able to reach out to more of the smaller islands. We have Cat Island, Inagua, Rum Key, San Salvador, Maguana, of course Grand Bahama. We have Eleuthera, Exuma. So we are excited.
Key stakeholders are on each island. And our goal is just to get them the produce, and then they will then team up with churches or organizations who have feeding programs, and they're going to prepare the meals and distribute it on their respective islands.
The Bahamas Striping Group of Companies welcomes those who wish to contribute to this noble cause. They will partner with local food banks, community centers, food stores, schools, and mailboats to facilitate the distribution of meals in a timely and professional manner. Additionally, monetary donations are accepted.
I'm going to give a factual story. A lady called from Cat Island. She can get 1 ham, 1 turkey. She can't cook it because she's old, but she's the guest tell her where the ham turkey needs to go. And that's what make a difference to me. You might have $1 million, we'll take it. Or you might have $100, we'll take it. Whatever you can give to help make a difference successful is what we'll accept. It's not about how much you have or how much you do not have. Our Let's Make a Difference is about making changes in our community. Not 5 years from now, but making changes immediately.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Well, thanks, Wes. And that does it for the National Report. But stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.